We watch Sky, we watch BBC News 24, you know.
I'm going to be working directly with the army for the first time.
We got it from speaking to the press.
That's interesting, really looking forward to that.
If press approach you, then you've just got to pass them on.
There is a bar on camp, but because we're on constant call, if you like, we just can't afford to...
It just takes one wrong word and you can set off a massive bonfire.
Yeah, lots of music there.
And that work will be totally unintentional, you know.
Obviously, when this thing hits in news, it's usually for the worst reason.
There's a lot better trust between the military and the press now.
It's quite difficult to get an impression of what we call life on the cob.
I signed on for 9 years initially. I've just passed my 9-year point, so I've signed on until 12.
The cob being the coalition operating base.
If I come out, I'd have to go for police or something like that.
From outside, I feel watching the British news, could you get a true impression of life in Britain?
A lot of my job at Whitman is sitting about doing nothing.
Unless you get out there and see it for yourself.
Suicide bomber in Leicester, so I got up, done 3 laps of the sitting room with me head up my arse.
Your eyes are glued to it all the time.
Turns out I was just some lunatic, like he wasn't a suicide bomber at all.
This is going to cost me a fortune.
Taught that everybody's equal, male or female.
There's a fine system.
You feel awkward, you feel uncomfortable because the woman's always stood behind. And
to create a beer,
you only shake hands with a male.
The guys are glued to the TV in case they see somebody they know.
They act as if she's a non-entity.
They tend to make a beeline for the girls out there.
We're not there to judge their culture, we're not there to judge their lifestyle.
Unfortunately, she seems to get caught up in it all the time.
The only discussion you get about our culture is...
You'll see them sneaking away from the background trying to get off camera.
A football team you support.
I think the media portray what the public want to see.
Apart from a lot of them like lamb and butler cigarettes.
You watch it out of a matter of interest to see what's happening over there.
It certainly never goes as deep as religion.
As for taking a professional view from it, nothing at all.
They accept what they're doing, they don't seem interested in our culture, to be honest.
The most important thing is speaking to the guys on the ground who are out there already.
It's imshal it's God's will.
A lot of people think that the media are quite biased in the views.
You know, it's a massive comfort to them in the end.
They're trying to portray what the public want to see.
Definitely, yeah. You've got to admire the faith in a way.
Every major news agency will be on camp.
You don't admire suicide bombers by any means.
You just end up ignoring it completely in the end.
The way the Muslims get perceived over here is every Muslim's a suicide bomber.
Yeah, at first it is. It's very Hollywoody.
It's not like that. 99.9% of Muslims want to get on with their life.
I suppose you get stars in your eyes for a little bit, but you just get bored of it at the end, just crack on.
Or IRA are Catholic fundamentalists, really, when you think about it.
I'm terrified of spiders.
It's more about respect for the culture, you know.
There's a lot of myth about the camel spider, saying that it chases after humans.
Show your left hand.
You get tunnel vision, and the only thing you're interested in at that time is...
Because that's an insult, you know.
Your job, what you're doing.
We hold our rifle with our right hand, so tell somebody to stop with our left hand.
Basically, I'm responsible for somebody's life.
As we're now taught to do it with the right hand, which is totally alien to us.
So anything happening around me does not matter in the slightest.
If you get off at food, you're not supposed to say no.
It's me and him as far as I'm concerned.
World War II bomber that had crashed on the way back from a bomb mission.
Full stop.
First scoop he took out of the ground. There's a bomb in his bucket.
Looking after yourself and looking after your buddies.
We found the engines of the plane, that was it.
It'll be interesting to see how we react.
But most of them are, thankfully, are either false alarms or hoaxes.
It's a fine line between a brave man and a dead man, I think.
Yeah, that was that one Leicester.
But when you're in a situation like that, you do your job with minimal fuss and minimal effort.
All we do is shoot the rucksack, blow it to bits.
You get in there and you get out.
Mightn't go to any.
Bravado's for actors.
Might go to 20 of them, you know.
You don't even think about doing it. It goes against all human instinct.
Inshallah, they call it, yeah, God's will, yeah.
But a guy working in a factory cutting sheet metal, he doesn't go into any bravado about it.
It's inshallah, it's God's will.
He's got just as much chance of losing a limb.
It's a massive comfort to them in the end.
What we call the wheelbarrow.
I doubt in the back of your mind.
The long walk, which is when the guy's actually going down to this device himself.
Absolute true faith, yeah.
And he doesn't know whether it's on a timer.
You've got to admire the faith in a way, you know.
Whether or not there's somebody watching him ready to push the button and make it go off.
It's a strong faith, like.
What you call high threat.
Normal Muslim is totally different, but there's still that faith.
Dealing with explosive devices.
It'll come up now and again in the pub.
Could be covered by snipers or mortar teams.
So our right hand's our trigger finger.
So your threat level goes basically through the roof.
Before I went back to work, I must have had about a month and a half off.
Draw you in and basically just to get rid of an EOD team.
See me mates and me sister.
They sort of get sixth sense about it and they know when they can smell a rat.
Had a few beers with you one night.
They're strange people, very strange people.
Boredom sinks in again, you just want to get itching to get back to work.
With weird senses that we'll never have.
And then once you get back to work, you want to be on leave again.
A lot of people's picture of Iraq is hustling, bustling, marketplaces and what have you.
I'll be in the clear for a bit.
If they're driving through a marketplace and it's empty,
Fell just short of that.
apparently the hair stand up on the back of the neck.
Special dispensation.
This might be the safest option out.
Withdrawn early.
Bite the bullet and go for it.
A good 18 months.
The kit we get now is second to none.
I'm itching to get back out there again.
That goes up to and including the vehicles.
But I'm not in another way.
So you feel a lot safer on them.
I think it's a human thing, you sort of thrive for it.
I was speaking to lads who are out there, says it's like a Mediterranean climate out there at the minute, so yeah, quite nice.
People do extreme sports, don't they, you know?
Cold on the night time. This time of year, very cold.
It's what keeps the human mind ticking over, I suppose.
Even when you're just wandering about the base, you've got to wear your body armour.
Boy racers driving at 120, you know.
It's quite surreal sat in the bar having a pint with your body armour and helmet on.
I had massive stockpiles of ammunition which needed blowing up.
You've just got to pinch yourself and remember where you are.
It was physically hard work.
They've got Wi-Fi over there now as well.
9 tons of ammunition to stockpile.
I suppose it's like being bipolar out there, really. One extreme to the other within minutes.
Set up the explosion,
You had ambitions, but you never saw them through.
make the explosion go.
You always wanted to get a Harley and drive across the States on a Harley.
Clear that up after us.
You had ambitions to get a property in Spain as well, load and ruin and do it up.
Just leave it where it was.
But, I don't know.
We did get rocket attacks.
We spoke about it briefly, and sure you'd be more than happy to come up here.
The whole camp goes into shutdown.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, they are.
And everybody gets under hardcover.
No, not unless you spoke to first. It's a massive insult. It's an insult to our husband.
Quicker we get out and clear everything up, then the camp's up and running again.
It's different. Totally different. It takes a lot to get used to.
It's when they first come in.
It's where they've lived for thousands of years, generations of generations.
You're going about your normal daily business.
Iraq's where mankind started, isn't it?
The alarms go off.
It's where the Garden of Eden was supposed to be.
Hit the ground face first.
It's quite a pity because if Iraq opened up to tourism, it would be a fantastic place to visit.
You get a second siren.
If you look at the major faiths in the world, Judaism, Islam, Christianity,
It's safe to move.
the similarities between them,
What we call hardcover.
just unbelievable.
Just bought us a pint for that.
All seem to have started in the same epicentre.
When I was going out on my jobs, you are shaky.
Very similar beliefs,
More adrenaline than fear.
just different names of characters, I suppose, in the plot.
Got tunnel vision of what's ahead of you.
I suppose when you're human, you just want to see how the other half live.
Afterwards, we sort of feel it, you know.
It's a case of getting out there, doing your job and coming back though, unfortunately. With the Arab nations, each culture is so different though. It's quite complicated.
I spent a lot of time on eBay.
It's me and him as far as I'm concerned.
I bought a massive Lego truck.
Big explosions.
It was fantastic.
Looking forward to that.
Absolutely brilliant. One of the best days I've ever had.